everybody, this is Jeffrey Segovia with YourStory.world, and today, as part of the Fine and Performing Arts, we are here with an artist has her night photography, Monica Tinnineko, right?
Yes,
I said your name
correct.
right?
Yeah.
How are you doing this morning?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Today, we are talking about your photography that's mostly taken in the night, right?
Yep, usually after sunset.
Tell me how this started. How this all came to be?
Well, my first inspiration was my brother. He's a photographer in Aspen, and he's been doing this for years. And I kind of wanted to be like my big brother. And then I had a couple friends from Grand Forks that were very adventurous with their photography. They would go out at night and shoot abandoned buildings or document old places. And that became important to me because of where I grew up in Williston, North Dakota. There's a lot of landmarks for me that were disappearing, especially during the oil boom. My favorite old houses were being torn down, so I thought I would document them. And then that turned into a preservation project in Fergus Falls, Minnesota, where we documented a 700,000 square foot abandoned mental institution, And we got an opportunity to do night shots one night.
Yeah.
And we could be out from sunset till the next morning if we wanted to. And that's when I really started my night photography.
And didn't you ever get scared? Like when I heard you talk about the
Always
mental
have a buddy.
institution. Yeah. Did you ever experience anything weird?
We had a couple instances. There were 40 of us there because it was such a big building, and we had outbuildings, and there was so much to document that I was assigned one half of one wing on one floor, and it took 3 hours to do that section. But over the 3 days, we got to explore and really go in and out of the building, and we got tours. And when we all convened at the end of this, we talked about our issues, and every single one of us had a battery issue at the same time.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is a little weird, and especially right around this time since Halloween's coming up.
Right. When we were shooting, that was in May of 2013.
Okay.
But it was Minnesota winter. You know, they're pretty cold in springtime, and the heat has been off in that building for 3 or 4 years because they decommissioned it in 2009. So it was colder in the building than it was outside.
And how did you guys manage to get into this project? Aren't usually those things off bounds?
It was actually the largest organized legal urban exploration group that had been formed.
Wow.
Yep.
And so then soon after these shots here, these came after, or was it before?
These were mostly after. There's a few from the project in this grouping, but the night shots of that building really made me look at things differently because of how beautiful they were at night. And I was doing anywhere from 30-second to 15-minute exposures of this building, and just to see how things change during time and at night and with the stars and when it's just peaceful and beautiful.
Yeah.
I wanted this exhibit to show how different things can be after the sun goes down.
And I know with going into night photography, it can be for me, when I've done pictures at night, it gets me mad sometimes because you're trying to get this shot.
Very much.
But the pictures that you have taken are very clear, and you can see what you're trying to capture.
That comes with practice.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about maybe some of the tricks that you learned along the way. And
my very first ever night shot, which almost got me away from shooting at night, was in my my black and white film class at Minot State. And that exposure was either do or die. It was an hour and a half in the middle of my grandpa's farmyard in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And I just hoped and prayed that it would turn out. And after I spent 3 hours in the dark room trying to develop this thing, I got it just perfect. It was just right. And my faith came back for night photography. And then I took a break from it for a while until this project, Kirkbride. And then spring break of 2014, which was my last year in college, my dad and I decided to go to London, England, where I took a photography class there for wedding shooting. And that city is so beautiful at night. And there's so many colors, and the people are great. And that is what made me kind of stop and look at city lights as compared to nightlife. So I didn't have a tripod with me. And it got a little tricky. I was sitting in the middle of
that's
the London
most crucial
sidewalk.
thing to have.
So there were a lot of very high ISO, so it's more light sensitive. Maybe 2 to 3 second exposures sitting in the middle of the London sidewalk with my dad trying to shoo people away. So there's the phone booth in the corner there. You can see people kind of moving because, well, it was a busy street.
Yeah.
And the London Bridge was beautiful because the lights change on it. So that helped. I look for places with a lot of ambient light.
Yeah.
And that will really knock down the exposure time, and then it gets you out of there a little quicker.
Wow. And so I know like nowadays a lot of people do digital photography. You were just talking about film photography. How did that help you with, because now you shoot with digital, right?
Yes.
Or do you still shoot with film?
I have my film camera still, and I look at it like I want to shoot, but I don't have a darkroom anymore.
Oh, okay.
I'm all digital.
I thought you were gonna say after those hours that you spent, you don't want to go back.
I love it, and if I had the resources, I would for sure. But it's very expensive compared to digital now, so
Yes.
I will stick with my digital.
Yeah, and and speaking like about expensive, some of the cameras you have. And
Yeah,
the
I
lenses.
actually traded a motorcycle and a car to get a camera and a lens. So
Yeah. When I was buying my camera, I don't know much about cameras, but after studying about it, a lot of people were like, the lens is more important.
Very much so.
Because the lens is the most high quality. That's what gets you the pictures. And I got a few questions about some of the pictures that I saw.
Yes.
One of them that I was really curious about was the fire that you have up here. What was going on? You just
That
happened to
was
walk by?
our beloved Gaffney's office supply store.
Oh.
And that was actually the night of my little cousin's birthday party. And her father is on the fire department in Williston, so he got called out. And it was hours and hours and hours, and the fire is still burning. And we had quite a crowd of people that had gathered. It's right across the street from our post office, so there was a pretty good-sized parking lot. And we just kind of watched this fixture of our town fall apart, and it was really sad, but to see the outreach of the community come and just kind of remember this place one last time. I have 2 images from that fire, and they're both pretty powerful, if I can use that word, but to see the amount of work and the desperation to try to get that fire out, because it came back about 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah. So over the next week.
I shouldn't imagine. I was like, was anybody looking at you weird because you had your camera there? Or?
They must have been, but I embarrass myself on a regular basis, so I don't even notice anymore. But I was up on a light pole, and I had a friend that I was kind of stepping on to try to work my way up there and get over the crowd of people. So yeah, I probably got a few looks.
And one other picture that really captivated me, you talked a little bit earlier with some of the students, is the starry night of how it looks like the stars are in motion.
Yep, star trails. They're one of my favorite things now, and I wish I had more time to kind of perfect the technique, but that's one of those unattainable things. There will always be a further goal with that technique, but that's all long exposure, and that requires a tripod.
Yeah, definitely. And so how long is your artwork going to be up for students that are, haven't seen it yet? I hope that
Actually, we're taking it down today.
No way. Today? Oh. Well, if you guys have not come to see the pictures, you guys are missing out. It's a good assortment of pictures here. And are you going to keep on doing night photography? Is this kind of
I think this is my new
on?
passion for photography.
Yeah.
I will continue to document abandoned buildings and farmsteads because that's what really got my start here.
Yeah.
And night will never go away. There's always pretty lights, there's always a new town to explore.
Yeah.
So I will always keep doing this.
Yeah. And so you're hoping to travel, because you went to London. Are you going to keep on traveling? And
I hope so, if my pocketbook allows for it.
Yeah. Well, Monica, thank you for joining us this morning, and thank you for the wonderful pictures.
Thank you for having me.
And we wish you luck on all your future pictures.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.